to ask about that. So we didn't really have an agenda on today, did we?
We had I think it's supposed to be Emilio today. Let's see.
Emilio, did we? Okay. How's everybody doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Yeah.
Emilio is going to be talking about motorcycle insurance, I guess.
Okay. I just recently went through that actually. I switched over from a USAA for the motorcycle insurance to Progressive again, because USAA will not insure my silly little 50cc two-stroke that I just picked up.
Seriously?
Yeah.
But we have
Yeah,
the
they-
motorcycle insurance also by Progressive, not by USAA. Yeah, it's the same.
USAA is more expensive than Progressive too.
It is. It is. I had good experiences with Progressive before, so I'm happy to be back with them. It's fine. And, you know, at least you can always get a hold of somebody 24 hours, where with USAA, their insurance department is closed sometimes.
That's not the way it used to be.
No, they seem to be slipping a little bit on customer servicey kind of stuff.
That's my assessment.
Yeah. John, you were on this morning with John Huco, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah, I joined that too. That was a good presentation.
It was. I think there were over 700 participants.
That's what he said. I even took some notes.
I took the calls to action down.
Yeah, good.
The 6 themes that he gave were very on point, I thought, and there should be something, or could be something that we could bring up again here, and particularly at our Rotary Club meetings. My club was below 20 for a while, and in order and we're all old. I'm one of the younger fellas, so you can imagine. And we're going to be president again of the Rotary Club just to try and keep it going. So this is,
Sure.
in a way, this is bizarre, but still, those are the times, and we all have to grapple with the technology. Although in some ways, the technology is good, because I've jumped in to be program director or programmer, and therefore it allows me to reach people certainly around North America and even around the world, and get them to talk to us. And here in Vernon, British Columbia, in the Okanagan Valley, how remote is that? But that's wonderful. You know, I've had Dean Roars, former vice president, and other people talk to our club. So it has some. Well, we can position and make use of what we got. Take what we got and make it better, I guess.
Otto, that's what John was saying in the meeting today, is with the pandemic that some Rotary clubs are experiencing far better attendance than back when they were meeting in person. Braving the world.
My experience with a lot of meetings is that if the 60% of the members actually show up, then that's about a normal meeting. I know, and it's not just about Rotary; it's about other groups that I belong to. If I can get two-thirds is a good number. 60% is sort of average. If you get 50, then there's something going on. Maybe we can do better with 50, but 60%, that's not at all unusual in my experience in the last few years.
Relevant to today's events in the capital, the national capital, I'd posed a question that they didn't get to, the panelists didn't get to, maybe they shied away from it. Part of the reason I'm with you folks, partly it's my work schedule, and that I have to attend remotely anyway, just because during my workday I couldn't get to the Oakland, California club anymore. But there was a lot of controversy in that club over starting every meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance to the US flag. And they still decided, the president decided after talking with everybody, because they would lose some people if he got rid of it. Although it makes some of probably the younger generation happier. And I was wondering in today's meeting with John, what was the inspiration for that versus our four-way test, which is more consistent with the Rotary values. And if any of you have any commentary on it, I'd really be curious to hear it.
Any change in a Rotary Club involves wailing, gnashing of teeth, and rending of garments. And if you make any change, you're going to lose a couple people. Doesn't matter what the change is. Mm-hmm. My own personal problem with my club, and I've let them know, is that the invocation always winds up being a Christian invocation. And there's nothing wrong with that, but Rotary is not a religious organization.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so one thing that actually barred me from joining the Masons as I was looking at doing. My grandfather was a Mason, but when I told them, you know, I consider myself an agnostic, they're like, I don't think Masons is for you. I was like, okay. Funny. Do your other clubs?
When the issue of prayer came up, in particular Christian prayer, which also happens in my club a lot, or constantly or always, what did you do about that? Is that, it's obviously divisive. If you try to stop it, or try a change is always divisive, particularly for believers. And what's to be done about that? Because we in order to be inclusive and or, as Rotary says, diverse, so we some of the races and some of the sexual orientations, people are not going to be welcome in my club, and they probably won't be accepted as members. So that and prayer, how do you feel about that? What is your experience?
I made my feelings known to the board of directors. They considered it, and they said whoever makes the invocation will decide what kind of invocation you get. I was thinking about giving a Muslim prayer sometime just for kicks to test them on it.
But, I tell my kids that, my bartender is here.
Sorry, the lemon twist fell out. I was transporting it.
So I was telling my kids that in any given church, there are no two congregants who are exactly the same denomination. That's kind of what we're seeing in national politics right now, too, but on an extreme scale.
I remember back in 1980, I joined in 1983, and about 85, 86, when the women were proposed to, are allowed to come in, one of the district governors in that district, former district governor, he objected to it, and he left Rotary. And I suspect he was not the only one, but certainly as a district governor, it was kind of sad to see that he would leave. But there were probably other people other men who left when women came in. So not at all unusual, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you know, to John Huco's point about the global membership of Rotary is staying about flat for the past 20 or 30 years, I think you said, John.
20.
But yeah, but now the US is about 30% of that. So the North American percentage is declining, continues to decline.
Yeah, the big growth comes in Asia, primarily India and Japan, and I believe South America. And actually, we are off the 1.2 million. We are now slightly below 1.2 million members, although I don't know what the exact figure is. John's point was 150,000 people join Rotary each year, and 150,000 leave.
Yeah.
And I personally think it's because we don't engage people. And we need to do a better job of that, in my opinion.
I liked what you posted about the Passport Club info. I think that was you, right, John?
I posted one. Our district just started one. They got their charter a couple of weeks ago. And, you know, it's just a way for people to join Rotary without being tied to a given club meeting.
Yeah.
Now, the other one, somebody else was talking about when they meet online 6 times a year. and a social function 6 times a year. Our district's Passport Club meets every other week, I believe it is.
It's kind of a neat option. It's like, what's the product that people are trying to buy in his language today in the meeting when they join Rotary? And I personally, I do miss the in-person projects that we would do with Oakland Rotary Club. That was a lot of fun, and good fellowship besides. And that way, it's not a bunch of people just sitting around a table jaw jacket, which can be fun too, but actually doing something that we feel good about.
Well,
So to
just
that
remember, when in doubt, blame Chris Jones.
Absolutely.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, sorry I was late. Had technical difficulties getting on tonight.
Prop this up here since I'm doing phone, but watching you guys on the computer screen so I can see everybody's lovely faces.
Excuse me.
So I take it you were talking about John Huco's talk earlier today?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a good talk.
Interesting.
I asked a bunch of district leaders in Region 39 what they thought. And the comments ranged from, I thought it was excellent, to same old story. Why didn't we hear anything new? A couple people had heard the 6 calls to action. A couple people said, I thought he was actually going to talk about the future structure of Rotary. Although I thought he put some of that in there, how do we get Rotaractors? He said Rotaractors, 5% become Rotarians. So there's an opportunity there.
That's a generous number, quite honestly.
Is it?
Yes.
Somebody was talking about fundraisers. Somebody mentioned, I think in the comments, about a fundraiser called Music Bingo. And I'm not sure how it works. It's a Canadian organization. And I have reached out to them for some explanation, but it's apparently something you can do on the internet. People buy cards and the sponsoring, I'm assuming the sponsoring organization gets a piece of that. After that, I don't know anything about it.
There's fundraising is one aspect, and I think that's one reason people join, is an interest in philanthropy. But to a degree, we all get fatigued just donating cash, and a lot of people like being involved in something where we see what the results are. Now I know Jerry's talked about his Guatemala trip and the thing with optometry and giving people glasses. I'm wondering if there's other things like that we can kind of do in our own spaces asynchronously, especially being a distributed club, that kind of coordinate together. Any other ideas about that?
I'm not quite sure I understand what you're saying, Scott.
So with Oakland, there were a lot of in-person opportunities to do something like package up books to deliver to schools, to play hosts for Children's Fairyland Oakland, when there was a bunch of kids that came in there as part of the schools, to play escorts for them around the place. Going in and reading books to kids in the schools, other kind of stuff. There's scholarship, things like that. I'm just thinking about what can our distributed club do that's something that we're actively, not just financially, but actively, personally being involved in some kind of a charity, a philanthropy effort.
Well, if we want to think about something that's relevant right now, Rotary clubs in the Northeast have focused on the Million Mask Challenge, and that's where they're purchasing 1 million masks with a little Rotary emblem on them, and they're giving them out to healthcare workers and the like, first responders. And that's something we could certainly do on a distributed basis. There you go, John. So, we need to fundraise we need to fundraise to purchase it, and then we need to make the distribution. And the most important part of all of that, after we've done the distribution, is to make sure that we get pictures so that we can promote the work that we're doing. You know, Rotary does great work. We're terrible at promoting the work that we do.
Do good and talk about it, right?
Yeah, do good, talk about it, and show it. You know, and not just, you know, one of the worst things we do as Rotarians is take pictures of, you know, giving the big check to the organization that's receiving the money. And there's really no action in that. And, you know, most of the people that look at that kind of activity are like, yeah, okay, that's good. Those elite rich Rotarians are giving money away. And, you know, that's not really what we do. You know, really what we do is we go out, we assess the community, we find the biggest problems in the community, we create a solution, and then we, you know, we roll up our sleeves, put our gloves on, and go solve the issue. And that's where we need to get the pictures and get the promotion out.
Yeah.
I agree with that
Oakland was
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, Jerry's
they
stories
call it
about
the
Guatemala
Crippen.
were great. Go ahead, John.
Those are called the Crippen grants. I'm sure you've heard of that one before, where you get the oversized check and hand it to somebody. And you're right, people just kind of glaze over on that. I'm sorry, Scott.
No, it's perfect point. It's the same thing I'm talking about. Jerry's presentations about his trip to Guatemala, and you see the lives that you're changing. That's really cool. I think that's the story a lot of people want to be involved in. I haven't been involved in an international Rotary trip mission kind of thing like that yet. I did get to go ride with those folks in IFMR in France, but that's not a service project.
I think what you can do, what Deb and I talked about it, you know, to make something in the area, looking for a project, what is really interesting for you and what you like. And our idea was perhaps because we are both women, why we not supporting a women's shelter. So the problem is you cannot really promote it because be careful with the women, they are on the pictures, right? But what you can do is, because you have to be careful about that. But what you can do is, for example, if you're getting donations together, donations for women, it's not only money, it's also that you make a garage, kind of a garage sales, you know, to get stuff for kids and for the moms and for the whole household. And you can make pictures from that and then you give it to the women's shelter. And this is what we thought about it, you know, to make something what fits to us, really to us, in the local community. And there's also a lot of local clubs, they have some projects. And I know from one club in Kingwood, they have a women's shelter and they are really active in the whole, you know, they're painting, they do everything for themselves. And that was something to get involved more in things like that, that you participate with the other ones. Don't make something whatever, what others still doing, you know. We don't have to create a new wheel if other wheels are outside there. This is the idea behind that. And then we can get also make rides for that and make donations and say, okay, we made a ride for this and this project, and this is what we're doing. And then you can have, you see that the people have fun and they make money. That was the idea behind all them.
That's cool. It's a lot like what Bob Muchler did with his pitch in his book, the Iron Lung to Iron Butt. And he's kind of an army of one. This was a local recruiting campaign the military was doing 10 something years ago, an army of one. You'd see the bumper sticker. And the idea was that as compared to a lot of other militaries, they encouraged the US individual soldier to think of the mission overall and be able to take action by themselves. As a distributed club, maybe we're a little bit more like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you know, really something that we can show we are in the community outside. And this is why, John, I thought about it maybe not only about this project, but make a little video to the video we did already for the IFMR to tell them about the convention. We cannot tell them about the convention in Houston, but we can promote Houston as well. Right now we have to wait until Taipei is going. But then we can make a little video, what we say, oh, by the way, we have another project. Welcome to Houston in 2022, and what we try to organize for them and show them we are really active over here, what we're doing with the IFMR and with the Rotary Club. That was an idea. I thought maybe we make another little video we can put on the first one as an, oh, like I said, by the way, think about it, reserve you June 2022 in Houston. And this is what we do, but we cannot say something about the convention. That's not possible until Taipei is over, Taipei. Even if it's not, if it's an online thing or whatever, but that, or we make one and then we're starting in after Taipei, we can do that too, to be really in the Rotary rules, you know, about the conventions. But that was an idea also, what I thought maybe we can make something like that.
You know, the last time we did a signature ride to the Rotary Convention in New Orleans in 2011. And we had great success. We fundraised. There were about 60 or so riders and probably another 20 or 25 partners that were on the ride. And we fundraised over $60,000. And
Wow.
we did a grip and grin with John Jerem, handed him, because he was the chair of the polio task force at that time, and we gave him one of those big checks for 60 grand that we had fundraised for. But it was interesting because I went out into my local community, you know, family, friends, etc., and very quickly raised over $3,000 with really no effort whatsoever. And so that was a community awareness and a community involvement project. And you know, we did this big ride down to we all congregated in Baton Rouge, and then we went under police escort to New Orleans, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
And let me tell you something. I mean, we're riding down the highway 75, 80 miles an hour, and these police cruisers are passing us like we're standing still.
Yeah,
It was
I
an
know.
amazing experience.
And when they let it happen, then it's so bad.
Yeah, is there anybody on this call tonight that was on that ride?
Yeah, I was on that ride. I raised over $3,000 Canadian for that effort.
Yeah.
One of the ladies, one of the women Rotarians from Elizabeth Saunders from Washington State. Well, what is that? Leavenworth. I had ridden with her to Chicago in 2005, but she didn't ride anymore. But she came on and she and Mark and I rode, and she followed in a van. And Elizabeth said that when we were riding out of Baton Rouge and the police, they go to the intersection, they stop it, and then they go roaring past it and jump and leapfrog to the next one. She said her hair was standing up at the back of her neck, and she was just crying at the back of the ride for that. She got so emotional, I guess, with the event and the fact that she wasn't riding motorcycle anymore.
Yeah. But this is a good
it was a phenomenal experience.
Yeah, it was.
It was a phenomenal experience, and I think we, you know, maybe our club could put together something of a ride again. And the way that we did the New Orleans ride was we had trails of people coming in. So there was a train of people coming in. So there was a train coming out of Seattle. There was a train coming out of Detroit, a train coming out of, you know, the Northeast that came down through North Carolina that I picked up on, a train coming out of Florida over. And so all these groups converged. We had a big party in Baton Rouge, and again, it was just a lot of fun. So I think, you know, if our club were to embark on a project like that to get ready for 2022, and I can tell you, it took a lot of heavy lifting to make that all happen.
But it's not a bad idea. We can look. Can we talk with each other? Maybe Chris, that we maybe make an appointment together and talk about that. because the
Sure,
problem is
just
I was looking.
not this week.
No, not this big. I was looking for trains also because I wanted to go somewhere. But in German, the auto train, the car train is very popular. But here it's only the chemical industry or whatever using the trains. But there is not really transportation trains over here. That makes it a little bit difficult. But maybe we can find a point not that far, that they can go on a certain point and then they come together over. That would be great as well.
Well, you can ask John Schreiner.
Yeah, Bob Schreiner is a great resource to talk to. He's actually the one that organized the whole thing.
Exactly. He was president.
Otto, were you involved? Yeah.
Mm.
And there was a lot of heavy lifting. And Ute, when I said train, I was using train as a metaphor. The train was the group of motorcycles all riding together into the various, from the various points in the country.
Yeah, like in the rodeo in Houston, they're coming from different points in trails over, right? Is that something like you said about it? Okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm what I'm saying in the metaphor of train is really a group of motorcyclists all coming together. So we didn't arrive in Baton Rouge one by one. We've arrived in Baton Rouge by groups.
Yes, they have a meeting point, and at the meeting point, they're starting to getting together to the convention, right?
Yeah. So coming out of the Northeast, they had a stop in Philadelphia. Then they had a next stop down in
Wow.
I think it was in Virginia. Then they had the next stop in North Carolina, and I picked up in North Carolina. Then we went from North Carolina over to Tuscaloosa, and then we went from Tuscaloosa down into Baton Rouge. Does that sound right, Otto?
Well, I came from the
Is that how you remember it?
I came from the Northwest, so
Northwest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in Taos, I had a flat. So in Taos, New Mexico, in the morning, wanted to go, and then I had a flat tire. And of course, there's no way to have a Harley Davidson a guy work on a BMW or a Kawasaki at the time. So we had to backtrack, and Mark Baker was a little ticked off because he wanted to go, and we had to go in the wrong direction. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Chris, what you were saying, and Ute, what you said before about some kind of a distributed event where each one of us runs a leg of an event. And if there's a way we could do that and make it some kind of a philanthropic benefit of a ride, but each of us doing our own thing, particularly right now in the pandemic, where we're really not supposed to get together in large groups.
So my goal is, and I couldn't block anything right now. My goal is, to find a hotel in Houston where it's big enough. It looks like everything in downtown around the convention center, it's already blocked from Rotary International. I'm still looking for another one, what I can block free, that we are outside of this contract with Rotary International. That's not that easy, but I have one hotel, they not responded to me already. I tried to contact them, but this is big enough. It's not in the loop, or it's in the loop, but it's not that close to the convention center, but it's close enough that we can have, they have a restaurant inside the hotel. There are restaurants around, so that this infrastructure is already good. I know from my husband that the transportation system, when you have a badge from the convention, you can use the whole infrastructure, the bus system already. So if you like, you can leave the motorcycle at the hotel and then you can go on the convention. But this hotel is gated. This is something what I thought it's not bad, because of the motorcycles, that when you're coming over, that we can all sit there together, and have fun together, or can look for a restaurant. And we are not, it's like I did that for the District 5890 in Hamburg. It's not direct in the middle. So you have not the problem that I don't know how many Rotarians want to go to dinner in the night, so that we can find easily something and stay together and have some fun. So this is what I'm right now working on, it, that I can fix that up for the convention. And when I have that, then I can say, okay, how many people who want to book inside there, and then I can really make a reservation over the people. So this is what
I
I'm
very
working
much
right
look
now.
forward to being able to see people outside the household face to face without
Exactly.
masks again someday. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking in the meantime, is there something we can do that is a team, a club event that's distributed and distant, but all coordinated together for a cause?
This
And
is
that's
what
what I'm
I
kind of
what I
playing around
tried
with.
to do with the Bandera thing last year. You know, I would love to do that. You know, to have everybody together and only have fun and talk over things what we can do. It's so different than when you do it over Zoom and you have only a certain time. So and when everybody is telling their ideas, I'm sure we can get something really interesting together.
That would be cool. Well, this past week, so these are my old prescription eyeglasses, and I got fitted for some new ones that I'm waiting for. And I asked my optometrist because I remember Jerry's story about Guatemala and Bosch, the partner there. And so I asked him if he had any old eyeglasses that were ready for donation. He says, yeah, he's got a big box full, but the groups that normally pick them up haven't been doing that lately. And so I got the information from Jerry and coordinated with the optometrist, and I got 235 pairs of glasses that I just sent yesterday off to Jerry. And of course, they'll all have to be analyzed for what the prescription is. But it's fun to actually, take the 100 pair of glasses at a time, right? A double handful is about 10 pair of glasses. And they're in the kitchen sink with like hot soapy water, just like just give them a quick wash and then hang them on the towel to dry, then pack them up in tissue paper so the things don't destroy each other when I ship them from California to Michigan. And it was nice to actually get my hands on something that involves people and their stories. And you think about, okay, 235 pair of glasses. Those things have seen a lot of life, right? And who knows what the previous owners were like? You can kind of guess by looking at the style or the prescription, and packing them up and then thinking about, well, what lives will they affect later on? If they end up in Guatemala or elsewhere that Bosch does their work. So that's the kind of hands-on stuff that's fun to do. I'm just thinking, what other ideas can we do that's a distributed, that people we can do individually, but coordinate as a club?
Did we get pictures of all of those actions that you did, Scott? That would have been an awesome story.
I sent some photographs off of what it looks like, 235 pairs of glasses laying out, drying on some towels on my kitchen table.
That's cool.
And then the sink with the bubbly soap on one side and the rinsing in the other. So I sent those off at least to Jerry. I don't know who else might have gotten that photo. I think Amanda did. And I would love to see what's the rest of the story. And I think
Linda should put that up on our website.
That'd be cool. And I think it'd be great if we get a letter to Dr. Lukens of thanks for the donations. And I would love to see the rest of the story too after we get the glasses placed with new owners.
It's too bad we can't take like one pair of glasses and like kind of track it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you went from your hands, from the optometrist to you, to Jerry, to a recipient, you know?
Yeah.
Put an RFID tag on it and watch it go.
Put a tracking device on it.
Yeah.
From Google or Facebook.
I have to think about it. Our idol is also a Rotary member, so maybe I can ask him. I think they gave the glasses until now to the project. The Lions have a project like that. Maybe I ask him that he give us the glasses and not the Lions.
I think the difference with the Lions project is, at least up in Conroe, is that they use it for local people. So that may be a different sell.
Which is fine. I was thinking about that domestic versus do we send the glasses overseas, and how much of the US we normally, at least folks who are in the club, we're normally going to go out and buy and choose our own frames, get the lenses made for us. And that's probably the case in much of the US, but certainly not all. And I'd love to hear the rest of that story and what lives get changed, improved, or something by these donations. I think that's the kind of thing that, back to John Yuko's point, can be the product that some people are trying to join Rotary for. So want to make a difference in something.
I think one of the keys is always making it relevant. So, you know, doing a project that has no relevancy just doesn't capture attention. So, you know, that's why I brought up the Million Mask campaign as an idea. Because we don't have to do that as a group club. We can all do that individually, and you know, get the pictures of us performing those actions individually, and then we can cobble them together for a great story of the work that our Rotary Club has done. Deliver all the masks on our motorcycles, right? So we have our motorcycles involved in that.
That's a good idea.
I like that a lot.
You know, it's like the year I was district governor, I did all of my club visits on the motorcycle. And I did that to draw attention to the Rotary Fellowships. So it's always interesting when the governor showed up in, you know, in leathers and boots and went into the back and did a quick change, put a tie on and a jacket, and then came back out on to the podium. So
we do that actually when we promote the polio ride, what we're doing. Then we go into the clubs for the promotion with the motorcycle and with the motorcycle gear for sure. That is what we're doing.
Yep.
Yeah, Bob Muchler's book is great for telling about all kinds of examples of that kind of work.
But whatever we do, I think it's important that we do it with our motorcycles so that we can promote both the good of Rotary as well as, you know, great work on motorcycles.
Yeah, part of what we love, we put ourselves in it.
Yeah.
And then everybody see that the motorcyclists are not only the people they, you know, racing over the streets or whatever, bother you with the sound, that they can do really helping stuff. I think that's really cute.
Oh yeah, we're still that too.
Yeah, but we do good as well, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Where can we
So as long as
buy the motorcycle masks? Who is selling
Rotary mask, you mean?
Rotary mask?
Yeah.
John, where did you get yours from?
You're muted, John. I can see
John,
your mouth moving, John.
You're not a ventriloquist. We can't.
That's the phrase of the time. Unmute yourself. What's the big supplier for Rotary supplies? I can't think.
Russell Hampton.
Yeah, it's a Russell Hampton. This, however, I don't. It has no tab at the nose. It's basically two pieces of cloth, which is better than nothing. I'm not sure this would be adequate for distributing to anybody.
Well, I mean, it's just an idea, you know, as long as we're spitballing. We've got Valentine's Day coming up. So if we were to, you know, find something to do on our motorcycles where we could do good and deliver it by the motorcycles for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I like that idea. Do we have a process for collecting and kind of sorting through these ideas as a club, even if it's asynchronously?
Well, one of the things I don't think we have done yet is actually capture all these ideas in a document somewhere so that we don't come back and reinvent the wheel every time we have this discussion. So I think we should start there.
So we need a bucket for the ideas and a place where you can all kind of collaborate.
Yep.
Do we have any such infrastructure? I mean, there might be some tools we can do with the social media we've already got, but is there like a Google site or something else?
We could create a Google Doc for it.
Yeah. Well, Amanda's already done that for the nominations. So that might be a good place to go, have just a community that same way.
Mm-hmm. Don't ask me to take that on as a project. I've got enough Rotary projects on my list right now.
Yeah.
So.
I guess I could do that. That's not a hard thing to do. All right, I will start a Google Doc and we'll see if we capture some of these ideas and then figure out what the process is going to be to sort and see what people actually want to support and get involved in related to motorcycles and things that our communities need right now.
Okay,
You know,
every
as-
time I say the word Google, it's setting off my puck. All of a sudden she just starts talking and I'm like, what?
Yeah. All right, I'll share a
No, I
link
think
after I
one-
put it in.
it might be helpful for us to establish, you know, some themes of what we want to support throughout the year. And then establish some projects that we want to do around those themes around those times of year. So that's my thinking on how we might want to organize it, and then people can throw their spitball ideas into that, and then, you know, it doesn't take long to throw the idea at the club and the club says yes or no. We can do that.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Polio Plus too, John. I'm also a big fan of Alzheimer's, you know, supporting Alzheimer's, and Linda's working on setting up a program for a Rotary program in the Southeast called CART, and have a speaker come talk to our club about that.
It's interesting to me that we're having this discussion today, because I'm having this discussion on Sunday with my women's group, with my women's riding club, because I had a couple members come to me and say, hey, you know, we want to do something for the community. And so I said, great, okay, this is fantastic. Let's get together and talk about it. And so I'm going through the same process with them, going, okay, we need to, you know, what causes do we want to do? You know, what kind of event? In our case, of course, it will be probably more of an event or fundraising type thing. So I'm totally with you on trying to figure out all of these little steps. And I'm lucky because I can say, okay, we're not going to do it till later in the year, hopefully past COVID, you know, past all these wonderful things that are going on in our little universe. And yeah, it's tough, and there's so many ideas out there, but yeah, you want to find the right one, the one that's going to engage everybody into doing it.
So
That's
invite
an
them, invite them to Rotary.
Well,
Yeah,
you know, that is part of the greater plan.
yeah.
But
That's what we work on.
right now it's been like, I have so many things going on. I'm like, oh my god, but I this just makes me feel a little bit better, because I said, let's get it going in January. Let's work out how, you know, how are we raising funds? Who are we approaching? You know, what's our target? So on and so forth. And in my circle, it's like Rotary comes with a certain reputation, which is great, because if they know it's a Rotary project, they, you know, the legitimacy is there. Yeah, when you're just kind of a random group, it's a little bit different. So it'll be a lot of fun to see where it goes.
So let me introduce a concept to everybody here on the call tonight. Rotary has a non-membership option called a Rotary Community Corps. And we could establish a Rotary Community Corps, which is really a disparate group of people that come together to help us work on projects. So they're the worker bees that don't actually want to pay for membership, don't want to attend meetings, but they're always there for us to call on whenever we're ready to do a project. So our club could establish its own Rotary Community Corps that we call on every time we come up with a project that would help us go out and do all the work. So they get those kinds of people get the value of the altruism of, you know, the work, but they don't have the responsibilities or the commitment to actually being a Rotarian. And what we've found throughout the world of these Rotary Community Corps is oftentimes people join as a Rotary Community Corps person, and then they become a regular member of the club because they like what the club is doing. So it's kind of like an entree point into the club. So
We have that. We have that here in the District 5890. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
So just an idea for the, you know, for us to think about. Sorry, go ahead, David.
Had an idea. You spoke about getting masks for you know, for medical care professionals. I was thinking about what about seniors, people that are in assisted living facilities? They're having a very hard time right now. I was thinking about maybe putting together care packages for them that include PPE. Maybe reach out to some of the facilities locally to all of us and find out what the need is, what the desires are of these people, and give them things that will be good for their health, but also give them something that might bring some joy to their life. I think that would be something that would be very easy to get the community behind.
Yeah, I think so. You're right. Rory, do we have an easy way to take money into the club?
Yes, I believe there's a donation spot on the site.
There is. It's in the upper left-hand corner of the webpage.
Right.
Are we already a public 501c3? Whatever this.
We're a 501c4.
Yeah, that's a
private,
what number we were.
Yeah. See, so donations made to our club are not tax deductible, but as a C4 organization, we get to take advantage of no taxes.
Okay.
True.
Some acquaintance with it because my employer does matching up to $1,500 per employee per year, and they'll only match the public, so the 501c3s.
Yeah, so the easiest way for our club to establish a 501c3 outside of actually incorporating ourselves as a 501c3 is to get a Rotary Donor Advised Fund started. And that way, all donations that come in are then tax deductible. But the Rotary Foundation manages all of it, and they do it for a very small fee. And they follow all the 501c3 rules and regulations, which means that any money that comes in can only go back out to a 501c3.
Okay.
And it's $10,000 to start a DAF.
Okay.
I have no idea about that stuff.
Well, it's interesting, and then also the question is, are we talking about philanthropy that's primarily financial, which that would be if we're giving it to another 501c3, or community projects, and there's different reasons to do each one. I mean, the financial, I think the financial ones are important, and Rotary International is doing a lot of great work that way, but at the same time, there may be a bigger draw toward membership or personal involvement from folks who are doing some kind of community work that's not around a financial donation.
Yeah, for that purpose, Scott, I don't think you need a C3 to do that work.
Right. You just need willing hands and somebody that appreciates the help.
Right.
And then the other thing I'm kind of thinking about Rotary in general, this is maybe a side thought. I mean, another one of our things is not necessarily just philanthropy, but also international outreach. You're still in the meeting. I've been thinking one of my resolutions, I don't want to call it that for this year, is to finally start studying the German language more seriously and take a class, because I have a lot of colleagues over there. That might be something else fun to do as a club, where we're studying some other language, culture, whatever, trying to broaden our international community.
If we decide to take on English, let me know. I'd like to learn.
There's a post I read from a friend recently who was saying he was in England and needed an English to English dictionary.
You need that.
Yeah. 2 countries divided by a common language.
Okay, Chris, just to back up a second, I'll share my screen here. Can you see the donate now?
Yep.
Oh, I see it. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. That's on our screen, and then you click on that, it takes you to the information on what you need to do.
Okay.
Then down here,
Perfect.
you can pick, well, right now, we don't have the other ones deleted yet, but that's what's in there. Down this section.
You know, the fact, or this has Eyeglass Project on there already, might make my providing those photographs all the more relevant. What's our primary public outreach vehicle right now? Is it our Facebook page for RCMR or something like that?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, so we, you know, on the brochure Jerry sent me, we've got a suggestion of $5 per pair of eyeglasses. It's like, you know, it's not insurmountable, but it's a lot of glasses to try to process. And so that might be something for us to kind of take on. It's like, yeah, we're gonna fund for somebody to analyze those glasses and then get them into the hands of people who actually need them.
Okay. Now, where do you go? Now I need to get out of here. Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have an RCMR page on Facebook too then, or no?
Hold on a second. Yeah. Gonna say that's the home page.
Okay.
What we're
No,
looking
he's
do we have
asking about
a-
the Facebook page.
Right. I think
Oh,
we have
yeah,
an RCMR
We do have a
page.
Facebook page.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me get out of that.
Yeah, we do have a Facebook page.
All right. Can I suggest that as a little challenge for each of us to post that page and ask people to throw in a little something to the Eyeglass Project, considering those ones I sent off to Jerry just a little while ago?
Oh, you know what's interesting? I just noticed this. Our Facebook page is a private page. It's not public.
Ooh. Okay. Do you see who the admin is?
I know Linda's the admin
For IFMR or for the club?
for the club.
Club.
No, it's anybody can like our page. It's the IFMR page where we have to approve people to.
I'm looking at the Rotary Club of Motorcycling Rotarians, and it says private group, 44 members.
Let me look. You're looking at the wrong one. Somebody else created that one when we can't get them to take it down.
That was actually, I believe, Carlton, and he passed away.
No, no, he wouldn't have created that for our club. This is for our club.
No, you're looking at the wrong one. So
But what's the link to ours then?
it's Rotary Club of Motor. Here, I'll send it. Hold on. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
There, I put it in the chat, and we've got more than 44 followers.
Oh, there we go. That's good.
419.
Holy cow.
So just look at the one with our logo, the club logo on it. The other one is, we've been trying to get a route. For some reason, there's posts being made on that one, but
Yeah, I post to it.
it's the wrong one. So Jerry's an admin on that one. We just need to get him to,
Yeah, he can take it down.
yeah. I know I've had that conversation with him before.
Yeah, because it even has our website information on it.
Yeah,
Is there
no,
a
that's
way to
not the one.
merge?
You want the other one.
Got it.
Whatever you're posting, it ain't going to the right place.
You're absolutely right.
Can they merge pages, or that's probably more like an address book function in Apple?
They can't merge, and it's an ordeal to have it shut down. So, I mean, basically, if somebody can make a post to it, like if Jerry can post on there saying, you know, please see our current page at, and that would at least get people directed to our current operating page.
Huh.
I think it can be deleted though, too. I've deleted one for a road trip and then, I mean, it still shows, but it's supposed to be deleted. Takes a couple weeks.
All right, at least reduce the ambiguity if we're going to try to use this as a way to, you know, at least in this short-term idea of trying to drum up some funds for Jerry and Vosh to process all those glasses.
I'll send Jerry an email.
I have this problem with one of my businesses, as a matter of fact, where it turned out there were 2 pages and the business owner didn't even know it. So we made sure we moved our, you know, did as much as we could to move our traffic to it, just to see, you know, to kind of get it to die down. But you could change the title of the page, you know, a redirect post, those sorts of things.
Learn something every day.
This is what I get paid the big bucks for, people.
There you go.
All right, good deal.
Somebody got to know how this stuff works. Actually, that's what I'll be doing tomorrow afternoon, is explaining to somebody how this stuff works.
Oh, Emilio, he had a conflict.
Gotcha.
Well, I got the page open, so that's a good start. And I'll do something with those pictures of washing all that stuff up. It's a heavy box. So it's, I'm guessing we're kind of wrapping up here. Now we've had a few people drop off. Somebody want to lead us in the old 4-way test?
I'll do it.
I thought it was the 5-way test.
And now it is, sure.
Of the things we think, say, and do, is it the truth?
The truth.
Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better
friendships?
Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And will it be fun?
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks all, and thank you, Linda, for posing as a